Now first off, I have to admit that nobody around here calls this the Fife Riviera. But on a warm day when the sun is glistening on the Firth of Forth, it does seem like a very accurate description. The actual name for this region is the East Neuk of Fife. And over the next couple of days, I'm going to be exploring the beautiful little fishing villages and towns of the coast, along with my faithful companion, Leo. We're starting our exploration in Lower Largo. Sleepy Lower Largo has enjoyed a number of names during its existence. Nether Largo and Seatown of Largo being two of them. Although there's been a small harbour here for 500 years, it was never fully developed when compared to the larger harbours that we'll see just to the east. It's a quiet place, but full of quirkiness, thanks to the local sculptor Alan Faulds. You'll see examples of his work everywhere, but make sure to check out the Obelisk and the Magellan totem. Now the place to stop for a break in Lower Largo is the Ori Cafe, and its website boasts that it serves the best coffee in the East Neuk. Although Leo was far more interested in the fact that it served free treats. Next stop is the Royal Borough of Elie and Earlsferry. The twin villages share the same beautiful sandy bay. If I had to choose between them, it might just be Earlsferry. I hope that's not a controversial choice. The sleepy streets with their lovingly painted 17th century cottages invite you to step back in time to a quieter period in history. It's also the older settlement, dating from the 11th century. And as for the name, well, the Earls of Fife once provided a ferry to and from North Berwick, but this ceased in 1600. Shame. By the time you get to St Mons, you'll have realised that these old fishing villages of the East Neuk really are something special. The architecture, for example, is simply sublime. The pan-tiled houses that crowd around the harbour date back to the 17th and 18th century, when fishing and salt production drove the local economy. Saint Monan was a local Christian missionary, killed by invading Danes back in the 9th century. A Wellington boot garden, well that's a first for me. Thankfully, no need for Wellington boots on a day like today. The parish church was originally built in the 14th century and is reputedly closer to the seashore than any other church in Scotland. The town with perhaps the cutest name is Pittenweem, which derives from Place of the Caves, in this case the Cave of St Fillan. This cave was used as a chapel by St Fillan in the 700s. He is said to have written his sermons in the complete darkness of the cave, illuminated only by a glow emitted from his arm. Truly miraculous. Parts of the parish church date back to the 1300s, originally forming part of Pittenweem Priory. This grew out of a community founded by Augustinian monks who came here from the Isle of May in the 1200s. It's great to see that Pittenweem still has a busy commercial harbour, with fishing boats, trawlers and small creel boats. Here you'll find more Dutch-style cottages with crow-stepped gables. Now the busiest town along this coast is probably Anstruther, And one of the reasons why it's so popular is the wee chippy. I made sure to arrive here armed with an appetite, because this fish and chip shop is officially the best in Scotland. Leo and I decided to try the haddock supper, and I have to say that we have no reason to disagree with the judges. As a popular resort, Anstruther serves its visitors well with fish and chips and ice cream. The Scottish Fisheries Museum isn't that interesting for doggies, but we were able to see the largest exhibit, the Reaper, a traditional Fife sailing herring drifter. Another reason for the town's popularity is as the embarkation point for wildlife cruises to the Isle of May, out in the Firth of Forth. The last settlement on the south-facing coast is Crail. Crail is not only ridiculously pretty, but it's also ancient. It's been a royal borough since the 13th century. In 1310 it was given the rare distinction of being allowed to hold a Sunday market by Robert the Bruce. It's reported that at one time this area, Market Gate, held the largest market in Europe. There is also a strong Dutch influence in the town, most notably in the architecture of the toll booth, which dates back to the 1500s. And if you look closely, you'll see that the weather vane is a smoked haddock. From the high street, narrow lanes tumble down to the old harbour and its piles of lobster pots. Most guidebooks will tell you that Crail Harbour is one of the most picturesque in the whole of the UK, and for once they are not exaggerating. Best time to come for photography, late afternoon and early evening. The last settlement in the East Neuk, and the only one that faces east, is Kingsbarns. The name comes from the fact that when the nearby Falkland Castle still housed royalty, the kings stored their grain in the barns here. Any passing royalty today would find that the warehouses and barns are not full of grain, but of whiskey and gin. And I would also recommend to them the damn fine coffee. Kingsbarns is the last of the coastal settlements of the East Neuk of Fife, so this is where we're going to end our tour. But we're going to stay here a while and chill out in the Riviera sunshine.